security.
I like this.
Do we have a citizen?
There it is. Okay. Everybody read that question up there? Yeah. Okay. So the City of Brains project started out with one question. It was that question: how do you find effective and accessible mental health support in Toronto? And so you can even think about this on your own right now. Do you know how you would get the best treatment for a mental illness if you had to? And you just think about that. You don't have to say no if you don't know. Odds are most people don't know. But 25% of people will experience a mental illness this year. 50% of people will experience one in their lifetime. Right? So if you don't know the answer to that question right now, at some point in your lifetime, odds are you're going to have to know the answer to it. Right? And so the challenge is that when people seek out mental health support in the city, it's very difficult, and it's often like this multi-year journey. And so when we started this project, at first we thought we would just gather user experiences to understand that journey better. Where were people going? What were the problems people were running into? But we quickly found that the stories that were just kind of our sort of human-centered design process were actually really valuable resources unto themselves. And so now we've set up a blog to start sharing the stories. So now we've kind of moved into the second phase of the project, where you can go to cityofbrainsproject.com now. We were in an article in the Torontoist today. We're really pushing out the blog now. There's only 2 stories up there right now. But now we're in the phase of trying to gather as many stories as possible. So if you have a story to share too, I know whenever I talked about the project, I would mention that. At the start, you no longer have to come to me and be like, hey, can I tell you my story? You can now just go to the website and submit it anonymously. You don't have to interact with anybody. But if you want to interact with it, you can still come and talk to us. So check that out. And the purpose of this is leading up to the third point there. And so the reason we're doing this is because people navigate their communities through stories. So when we look at our city, we're often telling people, hey, like here was this great restaurant I went to. I found this awesome store where you can get really cheap vegetables. I went to that place and it's not very good. Don't go there, they'll try and rip you off. But because of the stigma around mental health, we don't talk about that. But this is one of the most important things you'll ever deal with in your life. It's one of the biggest purchases we'll ever make in our lives. Like getting good help is so valuable. So what we're doing by collecting these stories is starting to gather stories and data around specific services. Through that, as the site develops, we'll be able to show people how to find shortcuts. So and that's that little dotted line you see at the top there. So rather than having to go to 6 different places, you can very quickly see, oh, you know what? Other people who are dealing with the same issues I'm dealing with, they finally get good help at this place over here. So I'm going to go there first. And we're actually, even with 3 stories, we're already starting to see that happen in interesting ways. So there's a lot of people here from U of T. So far, there's a total fluke. The next story that's going up on the site as well, every single story that we have so far, now there's only 3, starts at U of T Psych Services. Now I'm going to spin this in a positive way. That's not the last place they go to. And so that starts to inform policy, that starts to inform how money is spent, because a lot of agencies don't know where their clients go when they leave. So what we're seeing is that people go to U of T Psych Services, and then they have to go someplace in the community. So that can start to tell an agency, oh, actually, maybe our role is just to try to get people to someplace in the community, because they're going to go there anyway. And then their money can be spent partnering with agencies in the community. So we have a group here looking at social service referrals. That's kind of exactly the data that we hope to uncover there to help people do that more quickly. So that's the project. Are there any questions? Open up to 3 or so. Yeah.
So once you collect all of these stories, how do you highlight the shortcuts?
So far it's just through tagging things and linking. So an agency comes up, then we can link to the tags, and you can see all the other stories. But a lot of it then is like brute force data, like us having to go through and say, oh, this person went to 7 places, they eventually get help here, and oh, this person over here also got help there. But that's, hopefully we'll be able to develop better data collection as the project goes on.
I think the other agency that's listed in the story about you, Toronto, is 211. I wonder if you have also how you're going to show your face with them and that's supposed to be sort of a clearinghouse problems.
So yeah, 211 is a great thing you can call and find service. One of the things we wanted to look at a bit different from 211 is, so what is the quality of a service? So if you call 211 now, you can get ass service. But is it the one that's going to be effective? You know, do they have a super long wait time? You don't necessarily know that. So we wanted to look at some of that qualitative data.
How do you ensure the credibility or the authenticity of the people who are sharing their stories? Or do they post it anonymously, or do they post their names?
So that's the thing. It is anonymously right now. You know, we've been really lucky so far in the stories that we've been collecting. We kind of knew the person, and we, you know, very much had to go and say, hey, can you share your story? As it grows, though, that's going to be an issue. We really put an emphasis in our policies on the fact that, you know, this is about sharing what works. So definitely, if somebody submits something and it's just like, this place sucks and this person's evil and that's bad, it's not that useful. We probably wouldn't post it. But we do emphasize it's like Yelp. So hopefully, by getting a lot of stories, people can start to make their own judgments about it. Because yeah, that's definitely going to be potentially an issue. Yeah.
I know we don't have too many stories so far, but patterns emerging that.
The amount of time. So there's even stories when we first started, we weren't asking people if we could share them publicly, so we have more stories than we can share publicly. But the thing we notice the most is the number of years that people spend trying to find good help. Like these are, and also the amount of time people spend on wait lists. We wouldn't tolerate it for any other health issue. Because literally by the time you decide things are bad enough to get help for a mental health issue, you probably need help then. And if you're going to publicly funded services, you're probably being told, okay, like 9 months from now, we can get you in for an assessment. And so what happens over those 9 months? Things just get worse. And so that has a huge impact on the community. So that's what I'd say the pattern we're seeing the most is that the amount of time it takes to get help is ridiculous. And if people were talking about this more openly, we would not accept this in any other health issue.
Thanks.
You can ask it after. Yeah, we'll be around after. Yeah, cool. And yeah.
And the other project that we have here is Councilmatic Pack-On.
And I'm gonna take 1 second to find.
No.
Oh, is that a good thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you should like proactively
Yeah.
rank other people's photos back.
Sure.
Now you can do it.
What do you need?
Grab a samosa. We got a little bit of time here.
What is?
I didn't even write any of that down. I'm like, what are you doing?
We're trying to send social and it is to do with social service
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought what I would have meant.